How you guys doing today? My name's Adam. I'm from George's Music at Jacksonville Beach. And we get a lot of questions about a lot of microphones because we move a lot of microphones. But today we wanted to shine a little light on what is probably the most commonly asked question, which is, what is the difference between a condenser and a dynamic microphone? So today I brought a couple of my favorites with me for our dynamic. I've got a Sennheiser E835, really great vocal microphone. And as well, I've got a maybe lesser known, but definitely should not be overlooked, SE-X1S. So at its core, there's two kind of primary differences between dynamic and condenser microphones. One, most dynamic microphones are going to have a much lower noise floor. You're not going to be able to, they're not going to be as sensitive, excuse me. Condenser microphones are going to be a lot more sensitive. What I like to tell people a lot of the time is when I've got a condenser microphone plugged in, I can hear my Chocolate Labs nails walking through the kitchen 3 rooms over. Dynamic microphone, maybe not so much. The other primary difference is, for the most part, and there are absolutely exceptions to this, you're going to see more condenser microphones in studios and more dynamic microphones in live environments. So let's get into these guys and do a little compare and contrast. I'm going to start over here on the dynamic. First, with the Sennheiser E835. This dynamic microphone is going to be awesome for when you're on stage. Because the capsule is not as sensitive, when I move this microphone around as I sing, maybe I get one of these, you see these people that like to whip them, maybe don't whip them by the cable. It's not going to transfer the noise as much through this thing. It's not going to peak out. I can scream into it, I can sing into it, I can talk into it. It's going to be able to handle everything very, very well on that front. Now, conversely, the X1S, this microphone on the surface is going to be much, much more sensitive. This one, maybe we're not going to be taken up on a loud stage. This one's going to stay at home, maybe in the studio. There's a couple things that really set this guy apart, especially for the cost of this particular mic, but keeping it just condenser versus dynamic. First and foremost, you see there's a different means of holding it here. This is a front address microphone instead of being a top address microphone like most dynamic microphones. That means the capsule is right here behind that window. It's going to be picking up the sound from in front of it. Now this has a cardioid pattern, which is pretty standard for most condenser mics. But what I really like about this guy is there's a couple extra features that built in that really make it play well in all circumstances. First and foremost, you see these little lines right here? There's 3 of them, left, middle, and right. We're going to start with the middle. It's a straight line. That's an EQ curve. What that means is if this thing is in the middle here, anything that's coming in, it's not affecting the sound. These other 2 are varying degrees of shelving EQs. Basically what that's going to do is far left, it's going to put a light decline on anything below about 100 hertz. And on the right, it's going to be a sharp roll-off. So if you're recording at home and you've got the AC noise kicking in, maybe something like that, you can turn these shelves on. You're going to be missing that sound. You're not going to hear yourself breathing into the microphone so much. And then my favorite thing. Now, I've talked a lot about how sensitive these microphones are. This one has a dual function pad. What that means is you see a -10, a 0, and a -20. Well, in the middle at 0 decibels, this microphone is going to be operating as intended. It's going to be pretty sensitive, but it's going to allow somebody to be a little bit more quiet, maybe deliver more of a whispery kind of line. Or maybe you're recording some fingerstyle guitar utilizing a lot of harmonics, and you're going to need the extra little bit of oomph and sound there. Now, that's not always the case. I like to sing pretty loud, sometimes scream. So what I like to do in that case is set it to -10. What that does is that filters out 10 decibels of signal right at the source. So where I may want to get a little loud, if I don't have that 10 decibel pad on there, that microphone's going to peak out, it's going to clip, you're going to hear it distort. If I turn that 10 decibel pad on, when I all of a sudden it sounds crispy and clean. But Adam, I sing louder than that. Adam, we got a drummer in our band and we want to experiment with microphones for that. Cool. Put it on -20 decibels. Now, all of a sudden over here, you can bang a snare drum in front of this microphone. You can scream at the top of your lungs till you pass out blue in the face. That condenser microphone becomes very helpful for a lot of different applications. So really, when it comes to microphones, it comes down to what are you using them for? There will never be one answer for every solution. However, you've got a lot of good people here willing to help you out and find the best solution for you. So, if you've enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe below. My name's Adam. Thanks so much for hanging out with George's Music.